Hey everybody, Coach Toolshed here, and today I'm going to be talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 and some of the monetization problems that people have been having. And I've had quite a few questions. People want to know if I was going to be discussing this, people who want to get some more information about some of these certain monetization schemes that Rockstar has going on with the upcoming game. Now, some of this information is not exactly new. Some of it is a few months old, but with the game coming out in just a few weeks, it's a little bit more pertinent information now than it might have been to you a few months back. So let's go through it now. Now, one of the things that people have been most upset about is that there's going to be some exclusive content that's going to be locked not only behind a pre-order, but you have to pre-order a special edition of the game. So you're going to be throwing down an extra $20 to $40 on the game if you want access to this additional content. Now, from the sounds of things, it's not really going to be too robust of content. It looks like you're going to have an extra bank robbery and an extra gang hideout available to you if you pre-order this special edition of the game. Now, I know a lot of people are upset about that, saying, hey, they're cutting content out and they're locking it behind this pre-order. And from what they've said is that you're not even going to have access to purchase this stuff later. It's only available for the special edition of the game. And if you don't pre-order it, you're not going to have access to it later. And I see a lot of people have been really upset about this. And yeah, it sucks that they're going to lock content behind a paywall like that. I don't agree with it. I wish they wouldn't do it. But if this is something you're upset about, let me help alleviate your concerns, because let me help you look at something a little bit differently, and this will help you feel a lot better. Do you think that those two extra activities that are, I'm sure, just going to be in a list of saying, hey, here's 10 bank robberies, and here's an 11th one tacked on if you get the pre-order. Do you really think that those two extra missions that you're going to be getting are worth $10 a piece? No, of course they're not going to be worth $10 a piece. It's just going to be an additional side activity. So if you're upset that it's going to be locked out, yeah, that kind of sucks that you're not going to have access to it. But at the end of the day, do you think it's worth the price of that pre-order to do those two extra missions? I highly doubt it. So if that's something you were upset about, just kind of look at it like that and realize, hey, the standard edition of the game, you don't need to worry about pre-ordering. You're not missing out on too much there. So if that's something you're worked up about, just think about it like that, and that should help you out. Now, like I said, I don't agree with this policy. I wish Rockstar hadn't have done this. They're kind of just creating bad will before the game comes out when they didn't really need this to happen. And I don't understand why companies do that. They know that stuff like that is going to be received poorly. I honestly do not comprehend why they purposefully make moves that are bad for public relations, aside from the fact that, you know, extra money. People are going to be more willing to pony up. They'll see that, oh, extra content, let me pay the extra $20, not really thinking about how worthless that extra content may or may not be. Now, let's move on to something else which people have been losing their mind about this week, and that is the fact that Rockstar has come out and said that there's going to be a 30-day exclusivity period for some of the Red Dead Online content when you're on PlayStation 4, and it's not going to be available on Xbox One for an extra additional 30 days. And I've seen a lot of people really losing their minds about this. I've seen some big channels doing videos about this, and the thing about this is that it's not like you're never going to get this content. It's just 30 days, and I see people spazzing about that, and I think this is something where I think you're really overreacting. If you want to get upset about the paywall stuff, that's one thing. But just a exclusivity period for an ongoing online game that you'll have access to the same content, you know, at the end of the month whenever it launches, I don't see why that's something that you really need to get worked up about. That's something that is just relatively minor, in my opinion. Now, if it was something where it's a timed period and it's going to last like a year, then yeah, that sucks a little bit more. But there's a lot of games that do this, and the stuff that people get worked up about that they think they're missing out on, a lot of times it's not anything you need to worry about. I remember back when Destiny had the exclusivity deal with PlayStation, and the Xbox players were very upset that they didn't have access to, I think it was like one extra weapon and an extra strike or two. And everyone on PlayStation tried telling the Xbox players that, hey, you're not missing out. It's just one weapon, and the extra missions are probably the worst ones in the game. Stuff that they could have cut out anyway. You're not missing anything. And Xbox people were still upset about it, and then when they actually got the content, they're like, oh, you were right, this sucks. What were we worked up about? In an online, ongoing world game, you're going to have enough content already to do. I don't see how missing out on whatever the content is. Here's the best part. They haven't even announced what the content is, and people are up in arms that they're not going to have access to the content for 30 days. Guys, just chill out. You literally don't even know what the content is that you're upset about. This is something, I have no problem getting upset about stuff. This is something I cannot get worked up about. And it's not just because, I'm planning on playing this game on my PlayStation. I also have an Xbox. If I had been planning on getting the game on Xbox, I still wouldn't get upset about that. And I'm not defending Rockstar here, because once again, I don't like these little backdoor deals that everyone does. And I know Call of Duty has something where PlayStation has like a week's exclusivity. Like, what is that? Who cares about a week's exclusivity for a multiplayer game that's going to be going on forever? Like, who cares? Now, throughout all this, you might say, hey, Coach, I don't care about Red Dead anyway, because after GTA Online and what Rockstar did with the monetization with that, I'm not even interested in this game. And I can understand that because, yeah, GTA Online is one of the most horribly monetized games I've ever seen. It's extremely predatory when it comes to, hey, give us some more money, give us some more money. I played that game for a lot, and there's still items in that game that I can't afford. And I would have to grind for hours and hours and hours doing the same repetitive stuff over and over again to try to afford some of this stuff. And I'm not gonna go and buy a shark card. That's not. I'm not gonna give them the extra money like that. I paid for the price of the game. Thank you very much. We've finished our transaction here, Rockstar. I'm not gonna keep feeding your wallets. You've made quite enough money off the gaming population as this. And so I know a lot of people are upset and worried about what Red Dead Online might look like. And yeah, frankly, I think you have every right to be worried about it. And until the game launches and we see exactly what sort of schemes they have going with the online monetization, we really won't know. And as we know with GTA Online, they could just keep adding stuff and making it more and more expensive and increasing the grind more and more. And I'm sure that's probably something that they're going to do. That's what Rockstar's going to do. I'm sure of it. However, what I'm choosing to look at, and this is something I would encourage you to look at, is you're not just going to be getting an online game that's going to be leeching you with microtransactions. You're also going to be getting what should be a full and robust single-player experience. And that's what I'm more focused on right now. That's something that I'm excited for because everything I've seen so far from the gameplay looks fantastic to me. I'm excited to get in there and start playing in a couple weeks. So that's pretty much all I had to say about this topic. I know some of you might disagree with what I have to say. Some of you may be only on Xbox. Maybe you are really upset about the 30-day exclusivity period for stuff that you don't even know what the content is yet. But I would encourage you to just maybe take a step back. It's not really something that I think you need to get too worked up about. But hey, if you're worked up, hey, more power to you. I'm not going to stop you from getting worked up. I'm just trying to, calm you down a little bit. I don't think it's the end of the world. And as far as the paywall stuff goes, yeah, it sucks. But just remember, anyone who's playing those 2 extra side activities, they paid $10 a piece to play those 2 side activities. So you should actually be feeling sorry for them and not sorry for yourself as far as I'm concerned with that. But anyway, I'm Coach Toolshed. You let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe if you want to stay in tune with the channel. I'm going to be talking about a lot more stuff as we head into the fall season. I got a lot more videos lined up for you guys. So I'll talk to you guys later. As always, keep it turned to 11.